We need our independence back, to be honest with you. Nearly 2.5 centuries ago, brave American patriots risked their lives for the majestic cause of freedom. Their names entered history as heroes and legends. They are indeed legends. They want to delete our legends. We're not letting them delete our legends. We're not letting them delete General Pickens either, that I can tell you. There will be no deletion of General Pickens. But names like George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, Patrick Henry, and South Carolina's own Francis Marion, and the great General Andrew Pickens. He's become very famous today, I have to be honest. This thing is all over the world. They have it broadcast. Look at all the fake news back there. It's all over the world. I hope they don't go back to their spreads where they're all losing lots of money because they don't have credibility anymore and start saying, let's look at Andrew Pickens. Let me see. What did he do wrong? Let's change the name. Let's change. Don't let him change anything. Don't let him change. When they want to change the name of George Washington, they've taken the name of George Washington off over 100 schools throughout the country. These people are sick. When they want to get rid of the Jefferson Memorial, that's not happening. But today, everything having to do with those courageous Americans who fought for us and sacrificed so strongly is indeed being destroyed under crooked Joe Biden, and he is crooked as hell, isn't he? You know, I've been hitting him much differently than I have because I've always respected the office. And then when they indicted me for nothing, I said, now the gloves are off. Now we have to say it like it is. He's a crook. Under crooked Joe Biden, I never called him that. I took the name away from Hillary Clinton. We call her Beautiful Hillary now. And because it was crooked Hillary, now it's crooked Joe, because it's a much more appropriate name right now for this man who's just destroying our country. Under crooked Joe Biden, millions and millions of illegal aliens are streaming across our border. Main Street is being crushed by catastrophic inflation. Our Constitution is being ripped to shreds. Our children are being taught to hate our great heroes. Hate them. You're going to hate Abraham Lincoln. You're going to hate George Washington. Men are competing in women's sports. How about that one? Murders, gang members, and bloodthirsty killers are being set loose on innocent people. And Joe Biden is stumbling us into the brink of World War III because he has no idea what the hell he's doing. While starting, and when you think of what's going on with Russia, you know, Russia now is at a point where they better make the right decision because we're on a course toward World War III, and the weaponry is impossible. If you ever saw the kind of power the kind of destructive force, and we have a man who's grossly incompetent, who's representing us. And if you look at the leaders of the world, these people are at the top of their game, President Xi and Kim Jong-un, and I could name almost every country. But we have somebody that's not at all. But while stating twice this week, as an example, that Russia is losing the war to Iraq. Twice. Not, you know, you can make mistakes on occasion. Even Lindsey down here, Senator Lindsey Graham, we love Senator Graham. We're gonna love him. We're gonna love him. I know, it's half and half, but when I need some of those liberal votes, he's always there to help me get them, okay? We got some pretty liberal people, but he's good. He's good. We know the good ones. We know the bad ones, too. We got some real bad ones. But even he makes mistakes on occasion. But you can't make a mistake by calling Ukraine Iraq. And then you certainly can't do it a second time because there's something wrong. With the help of everyone here today, we're going to win the South Carolina primary 7 months from now. Big. And on Election Day 2024, we're going to We are going to evict crooked Joe Biden from the White House. We're going to bring our country back. We are going to take back our country. We are going to make America great again. That's what we need. Make America great again. The fake news media has finally started to admit what we all knew. Joe Biden is the most corrupt president in American history by far. It's not even close. He's a criminal and a liar who sold his office to foreign countries and many other people. You take a look at what's going on. All of the stuff goes into the stuff he calls it, goes into family pockets. And it comes from many cases very bad third world actors, and nobody thought they were going to get caught with all of their phony corporations that they set up. The only problem is those people don't like to report on it, but they're actually having to start. It's very interesting. I'm just not sure I want to run against anybody else. I sort of like this one. And by the way, we're leading him by a lot. But just think of the massive Biden corruption unveiled in the past few weeks alone. According to Representatives James Comer and Jim Jordan, who are doing a fantastic job, by the way, at least 9 Biden family members were paid vast sums of money through 20 different shell companies for no legitimate reason at all. They can't figure it out. While Crooked Joe was vice president, he was using that as a cash machine. In addition, we learned the FBI has explosive evidence that Joe Biden took bribes from Ukraine, yet the corrupt FBI, it's out of control, not only covered it up, they stayed silent while crazy Nancy Pelosi, little Adam Schiff, how about that beauty, little Adam Schiff, and the radical Democrats impeached me, they impeached me. But that was just the beginning, because they also indicted me a couple of years later for asking questions about the Biden bribery scam. Just happened to ask. It turned out I was right. This is a sick nest of people that needs to be cleaned out, and cleaned out immediately. Turned out I was right. It turned out I was right. I had to go through 2 impeachments, and I was right on both of them, and it's been proven, and especially with the laptop from hell, it's been proven. It's been right there, right in front of their eyes. Last week, an IRS whistleblower revealed that Crooked Joe sat in a room while his son Hunter messaged a Chinese Communist Party top official, and he said, I quote, "I am sitting here with my father, Sleepy Joe, and we would like to," and by the way, he may not be as sleepy as we thought, based on all this stuff. "And we would like to understand, with the commitment made, what has happened? Why has it not been fulfilled? Why haven't you sent us the money? Tell the director that I would like to resolve this right now before it gets out of hand, and now means tonight." I didn't know he was a tough guy. They are with our money. They're not with our nation, because they're giving it away to other countries. And if I get a call or text from anyone involved in this other than you, Zhang, top person, or the chairman, I will make certain that between the man sitting next to me, that's Dad. Hi, Dad. Remember, he said he was the smartest person he's ever met. By the way, at some time does Joe Biden say, this son thing's just not working out very well? At some point, but it won't matter if the press doesn't catch it. Remember that. But the man sitting next to me and every person he knows, you will regret not following my rejection and direction. I'm sitting here waiting for the call, and he says he wants it right now. I'm sitting waiting for the call with my father. Within 10 days, the Bidens collected $5.1 million from China for no reason whatsoever. They didn't do anything. Once again, Trump was right. Trump was right. They have these hats. Trump was right about everything. I don't know about everything, but we were right about a lot, Marjorie, right? A lot. Joe Biden is corrupt, and Joe Biden is a very compromised president. He's being paid off just like a common criminal gets paid off, just a more sophisticated manner and much larger numbers. But he's totally protected by the Department of Injustice and by the fake news media, which has been weaponized to a degree we have never, ever seen before. This is a crime 100 times bigger than Watergate, and they just don't want to write about it. When I get back in office, I will appoint a real special prosecutor to investigate every detail of the Biden crime family of corruption. So incredible. And again, out of respect for the office of president, I would never be talking this way, even knowing a lot of this stuff. I have too much respect for the office. But once they do what they did to me and to you, by doing what they did, so corrupt, I said, now the gloves are off from that standpoint. What they've done is so terrible. So I'll speak differently than I would have 3 weeks ago. Because you never heard me use this kind of language. I wouldn't want to, out of respect for our country and for the office. But we really have no choice. These people are sick. They're sick people. But despite all of this, they go after me for the Presidential Records Act. Well, that's what they should be looking at, because everything I did was under the Presidential Records Act. We have a thug prosecutor named Smith, Jack Smith. He's a thug. He's had many losses. He's destroyed many lives, and they put him in charge. In the meantime, what about Biden's records? This guy has 1,850 boxes. He has boxes stored in Chinatown in D.C., rough place, by the way. He has them stored at Penn, where China has paid them almost $100 million. China paid over almost $100 million. And nobody wants to even talk about that. He took classified information when he was a senator, and even Democrat senators say you can't do that. Charging a former president of the United States under the Espionage Act of 1917. Espionage, espionage. As Putin said, you are the most vicious president ever. There's never been a president that did this to me, and yet I got along with him. Isn't that nice? Don't forget, I ended his pipeline. First day, I ended it. I said, no more pipeline. In the middle of construction, Biden came in and he approved it. I gave javelins. Remember this? I gave javelins to Ukraine. They were the anti-tank missiles, and they knocked the hell out of Russia. But I got along with Putin, and it's good to get along with people on the other side. It's very good. The Espionage Act of 1917 is an act for a crime so heinous that only the death penalty would do, is one of the most outrageous and vicious legal theories ever put in an American court of law. There's never been anything like this. And by the way, almost all other presidents took the documents with them. You look at Barack Hussein Obama. Did anyone ever hear of Barack Hussein Obama? The Bushes took documents. Jimmy Carter took documents. You don't like Bush? Yeah, I don't understand that. I mean, he got us into the Middle East, didn't he, huh? Got us into the Middle East. $10 trillion, that's right. No more war unless we need it. We have the greatest military now in the world. I rebuilt it. Of course, we shouldn't have given $85 billion worth to Afghanistan, losing 13 great soldiers, leaving Americans behind. That's what showed the weakness, and that's one of the reasons, I think maybe a primary reason, that Putin went in, and that President Xi of China is talking pretty big. The Espionage Act has been used to go after traitors and spies. It has nothing to do with a former president legally keeping documents. As a president, the law that applies to this case is not the Espionage Act, this vicious, never used before, it's only been used on me over boxes, that I'm allowed to have the Espionage Act. But the Presidential Records Act, which is not even mentioned in this horrible and vicious and stupid, according to very talented lawyers, 44-page indictment, under the Presidential Records Act, which is a civil situation, not a criminal law. I had every right to have these documents, personal belongings and boxes. I had absolute right to have them. Joe Biden didn't, and Mike Pence didn't. and neither did certain other people that weren't presidents, because they were not covered by the Presidential Records Act of 1978, relatively new compared to others. But these scoundrels and thugs in our weaponized government are corrupt, just like the president is corrupt. So they decided only to come after me. Only to come after me. It's an amazing thing. It's called election interference, and it's backfired on them, because my poll numbers are much higher now than they were 3 months ago. And we were still leading by a lot 3 months ago, but now we're really leading. A lot of people are going to start dropping out. Watch, you know, they're at a solid 1. One of them had a 0 with an arrow to the left. What does that mean? Can you have a 0 with an arrow pointing left? That means they got less than 0. I guess it's probably a double voter. You know, these people that vote 2, 3, 4 times, I guess that's what they're referring to. They have 0 with an arrow pointing left. The crucial legal precedent is laid out in the most important case ever on this subject, known as the Clinton socks case. You know why? Because he took things out in his socks. Bill Clinton. After leaving the White House, Bill Clinton kept 79 audio tapes in his socks and his sock drawer. Well, unusual place, right? Of these tapes, some of the most important conversations in government were had. Talk to the leaders of many, many big and great and strong and countries, enemies of ours, a lot of them. Not only was Bill Clinton never even considered for criminal prosecution based on the tapes and all of the other things he took, but the tapes in particular, they were brutal. But when he was sued for them in a civil case, he won the case. Judge, in other words, they said he could do it. Judge Amy Berman Jackson's decision states, I quote, "Under the statutory scheme established by the Presidential Records Act, the decision to segregate personal materials from presidential records is made by the president during the president's term and in his sole and complete discretion." You getting this? In other words, it's a phony deal. Any normal administration, even an opposing one, would consider that to be the end of the case.